morning, just about to start on a 75-kilometre run, last big one before the big day. It's 6:30 in the morning. Definitely wanted to stay in bed. I'm going to talk to you a little bit on this run, a little bit more about why I'm doing it. So that's it. Here's breakfast. There are definitely better ways to start the day. See you in a bit. Okay, so I've run about 11 miles so far, or nearly a quarter of the way, which is really good. And it's my last long training run before the big day. I just wanted to say a quick message. I want to say thank you so much to the people who have shared the site, to the people who've donated. If you've spread the word in any way, I can't tell you what it means. The support that you've given us goes right through my whole family, and the people who've got type 1 and have watched this, they feel it and they feel acknowledged. And it's so powerful, I can't tell you. It's really, really moving, and I appreciate it more than I can ever begin to articulate here. So I just wanted to say thank you. I wanted you to encourage you to keep spreading the word, keep passing it on. I know you're probably annoying people by now, but keep annoying them. They need to know about this. It's an opportunity to do some real good and change kids' lives. Look at your child, look at your nephew, look at your sister, look at your brother. They haven't done anything wrong yet. They're entirely innocent, and there's something incredibly unjust about a child going through something as tough as this. If people have lacked imagination, they're probably not still watching this video, but there are people out there who do lack imagination, and they hear the D word, the diabetes word, and they stop listening. Please look at the site, and please have a look at what Georgie goes through. Realise that he's this really astonishing, innocent, extremely good. I mean, if I had this condition, there'd be a bit more justice. I've done some things wrong, I'm sure I have. I do my best. I'm a faithful, loving husband and all those other things. And I hope I give back a bit. I hope so. But George is 1,000 times better than me, so it's just a bit unfair. The only way we're going to get change is if you spread the word. So please do that. I did a bit of looking up about Twitter, which just sort of terrified me a little bit. I wanted to find out about the origins of Twitter. And it was actually set up by people who wanted to make money, unsurprisingly. And they thought, they considered it to be some sort of text message site where people could sort of text online for free. They stumbled across the name Twitter, but then they loved it because Twitter means a short burst of inconsequential information. Inconsequential. There you go. There's that word. And then the people changed that. You lot changed that because it became something a bit better than that, a bit more than that. And so they said it's not a social network, not like you guys on Facebook who've been very generous in passing this on, but they described it as an information network. You decide for yourself whether it is that, and I'll speak again when I've run a bit more. Thanks very much again from the bottom of my heart. It means the world to me passing it on. Keep doing it. Thank you. What were we talking about? Social network? Yeah. Or information network, which Twitter have now claimed as their own, even though their initial idea was to come up with something where people could write lots of emoticons and lots of PMSLs. We all love an LOL, that's what the world needs. But you changed that, you made it an information network, or did you? So people who are using it, I guess it's worth having a think about what you use it for. I know when I started using Twitter and Facebook, I was terrified of what I was projecting, what it said about me, and then terrified, thinking how much of that is narcissism on my part. You know, am I just putting things out there that I think are going to make me look good, make me look funny, make me look bright and liberal and all those other things. And I thought, God, if something's making me think about myself that much, there's a problem. A.S. Byatt says something really wonderful about you you Facebook guys, and she said that Facebook felt like people were holding up a mirror to themselves and letting it reflect up into the sky. That's what they wanted people to see. I like that. What a clever lady. Maybe that's true. And as I say, I've been so struck by the generosity of so many people. But have a think about what you're using Twitter for, what you're using Facebook for. Are you one of those who uses it for self-promotion? Networking? I don't want to be funny, but the world's overpopulated. You're using up oxygen. There's no nicer way of saying it. I mean, contribute. That's what it's about. Surely that's what it's about. Someone who's had to think about death a bit too much in the last few years. My boy's death, of course. Sometimes my own. And I think, what am I doing here? That's what kids do to you. What am I doing here? What's the point? What am I going to leave behind? Hopefully him, who's a much better version of me. And I think can make a real difference given the chance. He's such a wonderful kid. As all of your kids are, I'm sure. But what are you doing? What are you leaving behind? And I don't mean that accusatory. It's entirely forgivable, but you've just got a chance, haven't you? When you send on a tweet or a Facebook message, you've got an incredible chance to help out a load of kids who are going through something really difficult, who are having to actually think about life and death stuff every half an hour, sometimes more, and whose parents are going through something quite significant, you know. Okay, so we're at 32 miles now. After about 20 miles, your body starts to break down. It sort of eats itself a little bit, and that's why people are getting such bother after about that stage in a marathon. After about 30 miles, your mind starts to go as well. And you get these irrational feelings of despair. I'm not allowed to have those in everyday life. You can't get like that looking after a kid who's got type 1. But I have unravelled here at the park. Such a beautiful place. I was out here on my own, running in the rain, and everything about George's life, about his future, about the things he's gone through, feeling the pain that he goes through, just sort of hit me at once. It does sometimes. And I unravelled terribly. Floods of tears. Just sort of lost it. And a stag came alongside me, just stared at me. I'm not a spiritual person at all, I couldn't be less so. So I know how weird this makes me sound, but the stag started to walk slowly, and I started to walk alongside the stag, and then the stag started to run. And the stag stayed with me for about 2 minutes, running within 5 yards of me. And after a little while I got a bit of strength back, and I forgot why I was crying, and felt the need to carry on. I guess it's confession time as my brain's falling apart now. Tracy thinks we've slept 3 times in 3 months, 3 times through the night, and that's pretty common stuff. A bit she doesn't know is that I didn't sleep through the night at all. Another thing she doesn't know is that every night I get the same nightmare. That when I go in to check George for his blood sugars, I go in and I touch him and he's cold and his skin's turned blue and he's dead, and I get that nightmare every night. So even on those 3 nights when we're supposed to, you know, his numbers were good and we had control, I can't sleep anymore. And I know my wife has those nightmares, and I know that every parent who's got type 1 child has those nightmares. And I know that all of you, you know, it's a very natural parental thing. You grandparents, you uncles, you aunts. It's your worst nightmare. And George just had a cold, he just had a chest infection, and then his life's been changed and his life's under threat every day. So next time your niece or nephew or your grandchild, your child's got a cold, just take a second to imagine that that could change their lives. when I try and think about it happening to other people, it kills me. Even that social media person I talked to about earlier, Mr. Self-Promotion, I'd do anything for even that person not to for their child to have type 1. I wouldn't wish it upon my worst enemy. When I think about my nieces or my I can't think about that. Sorry. So that's why I'm so impassioned about this. You know, it's increasing the whole time. 3 million people got it in America. It's increasing all the time and nobody knows why. And part of the problem is that the word isn't spread enough. That's the problem. That's what you can help with. I'm sorry, I promised I wouldn't cry down again. I'm in a state of despair. That's my excuse. I'm alright. I'm going to crack on and finish this. I've got another 20 or so kilometres to go. Please pass it on. Please share the website. Think about the young mother who lost her life because she thought she was just too tired. She had type 1 and her husband came home, found her dead on the floor. This is for you, this run is for you to be acknowledged, your wife to be acknowledged, your child's mother to be acknowledged. It's for you, Miles. When I was a teenager, I was haunted by hormones that, you know, I thought was utterly insane. It's not an unusual thing for a teenager to go through that absolute hell. Miles is a type 1 kid, utterly charming, well-adjusted, beautiful boy. And he ends up in hospital because his hormones have sent his blood sugars to a state where his life's under threat the whole time. Can't deal with it, he has to be on a drip. He's just a smashing kid, you know. It's for you, Miles. We'll run some more for you. If I was screaming a message into the sky like A.S. Byatt said, it'd be I'm a dad who adores his son, who worships his son, who has learnt more from his 3.5-year-old son than he can possibly imagine. He's made me a far, far better person. Watch the videos, www.runfortype1.org. Hopefully it'll give you an appreciation of how much your health means. I also hope that, I know that if you send this on to enough people, it's a disease that has an end in sight. You've probably read that there's a cure. It's not true. They keep telling you 5 years. Even the latest headline that said there's a cure, it's still 11 years away, okay? The only thing that changes that is people with knowledge. You empowering people, sending on this knowledge about George. You can take away all the nightmares. You can change this extraordinary boy's life, and that of thousands, millions of people all over the world. What an awesome thing that'd be. Thanks for putting up with me. Thanks for listening this much. And for those people who've already passed this on, I just can't get close to tell you. If I could come and grab hold of you and hug and kiss you all, I would. It means the world to my family. It means the world to everyone with type 1. Hear about them, celebrate them, and let's get rid of this horrible condition. Thanks very much. For the running junkies amongst you, or the exercise freaks, that's probably the second furthest I've run in my life. You can see, look at that, the ringing applause. I'm not doing it for applause, it's desperate attention seeking. I figured if I'd run far enough I'd jolt people and make them spread Georgie's story around a bit more. I feel a bit like all your injuries come back, so the 13, 14 ligaments I've torn in my legs all come back to me, my torn hamstring, my fractured kneecap. Probably the concussions come back to me at different points too. But it's pain that's temporary. I'll probably walk terribly for a few days, and then when the big run comes, that third marathon is going to break me. But don't care. George has taught me anything, above all, is you don't give up. And I'm not going to give up. I'm not going to let him down. I'm not going to let anyone else down. I'm not going to let down the people who have supported either. Because at the moment what they have is permanent. That pain, the fear, that lack of freedom. But we're going to change all that.